There's an aphorism I've heard that behind every successful entrepreneur is a supportive spouse and surprised in-laws.
We were newly married and I kept 3 separate accounts. We had my own checking account, we had our joint checking account, and he had his checking account. And I would basically reconcile all the checkbooks, once a month and pay all the bills. And I was sitting there and just getting very exasperated trying to find the last little penny or dime to make sure that they completely balanced. And I was just always in a bad mood at that time when I was doing it. And he said, I think could be a product that would work well to help balance this and make it really easy. And the family joke was he thought he could design it in about 3 weekends, and then it would be a great product for me to use.
I would not be in the business, and Intuit would not be here were it not for Signe.
The breakthrough that he had was coming up with a design of a product that really fit the needs of what customers actually wanted to do with the product and delivered it in an easy-to-use way.
He was very ahead of his time in terms of customer-driven development. So observing customers, not just doing market research, but going out with ethnography and watching customers in the wild, follow me homes, as they were called, and then bringing them and those insights into the development process so the customers actually help you design and develop the product.
There were many points during the early days of Intuit when both he and Signe would have given you the entire company. A lot of his early hopes and aspirations or thoughts about how it was going to work turned out to be absolutely false, yet was mindful of how hard the journey was and how many things he would have to accomplish to make it an important company.
We were not building a company for just the first product. Instead, we wanted to build a company capable of inventing and reinventing for future customers and future problems to solve and future products.
We all share that philosophy that Scott talks about, which is I believe corporations and companies exist because they have social permission, they have a social contract that they're going to leave the communities in which they operate and the world in which they do business better than they found them.
If companies stop overtly and obviously improving people's lives through their work, enabling people to live a better life now than they did 5 or 10 years ago, when companies stop doing that, they're giving up on their role in society.
And so it's our job to basically improve the well-being of the customers that we serve and the communities in which we do business.
His strength in leadership doesn't come from his ability to take control and lead, but it comes from his ability to empower the people surrounding him to lead, which I think is really cool and really important.
He has helped us create a culture where all ideas are simply a hypothesis that can be tested, and it doesn't matter that he's the founder of the company. It doesn't matter that he was the CEO 20 years ago, and it doesn't matter that he's got this track record that nobody argues with, where he has had repeated success after success of completely changing a category or an industry.
And I'd say if I've learned something in the last 10 years about innovation, agility, success, about growing your people, it's to embrace experiments whenever possible.
The other thing about him that makes him so successful, and something that I try to emulate, is his willingness to go deep and really try to understand what a person is saying. So instead of a gut reaction saying, no, that's not right, he'll just try to really understand where you're coming from. And I think that is terrific. And when I see him do that, I can see how effective it can be. I try to use it with my kids. To greater or lesser success at times.
Scott is perhaps the most grounded, highly successful person you'll ever meet. I go backpacking with him and every year for a week, and he's always the first one to jump in with mundane chores like washing dishes because he's a team player and he really enjoys people and he's not happy if he's not participating and contributing.
He's definitely really hardworking and he always puts other people first, which is something that I try and do, but I'm not as good as him. He is good at a work-life balance where he can be doing his work 1 minute and then just switch into being with us. We could be at a horse show because my brother and I rode horses competitively, and if we weren't in the show ring, he was doing his work, but the second we were in the ring, he was watching us and filming us.
One of the wonderful things about Scott is the fact that he does not want his picture on the wall or his name on buildings. He does not want the limelight. He shies away from that kind of thing.
I went to him and said that as a part of the 30th anniversary, it would really be my honor and the company's honor if we could name our campus center after him. And he struggled with that. He did not want Intuit to have a campus center or a building named after him. But upon reflection, he came back and said, I'll cut you a deal. Can we call it the Cook Campus Center, and inside can I put a plaque in honor of my father, who believed in us and gave us money, even when he didn't have money to give and he didn't even know what a PC was and had never typed in his life, because it was him that gave us the ability to become the company that we are, not me.
I don't think we have made it yet. Progress happens by steps. And the reason you want a grand challenge is to help those steps align to something that, when it's solved, as you get there, will really be important to the world. The things we will do that will change more people's lives more profoundly are still in front of us.